Hello, ladies. It is Tiffany of Clarity, Confidence, Courage, Women's Empowerment. And I want to come to you to this video to talk about a myth that really gets under my skin. It's something that I was talking to a colleague this morning about, and she's going through a situation where she's struggling, and it really bothered me as we start talking more and more about this topic, that it's going around, and this is something that has plagued women for so many years, ladies. So many centuries where I feel like women have been told this lie, this myth that is just untrue. And the myth that I'm talking about is this idea that our lives are meant to be hard. Like we are put here on earth to struggle and to work so hard for every single thing that we get. And we're just meant to struggle, struggle, struggle. Ladies, that is not true. That is a lie. It has been a lie that has been perpetuated to keep women in a place of mental bondage. And the truth is that we were put here to feel joy. 100% of life should be joyful. The reason why we don't always feel joy is because we are moving further and further and further away from our own intuitive knowing, that higher self that tells you where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to be doing. But this idea that human beings, women in particular, were put here to serve, we're put here to struggle, we're put here to be in pain, we're put here to just have strife, that's a lie. And it has to stop, and it has to start with us making the decision that we will no longer buy into the lie. When I made the decision that I was no longer going to struggle, that I was no longer going to just think that life is meant to be hard, when I changed my thinking, everything else in my life changed. I flipped it around. Instead of thinking the thoughts that I used to think where, well, life is meant to be hard, and if you have good days, then just be thankful because those are the exceptions. When I changed that around and I start thinking life is meant to be joyful, and when you have bad days, you need to inspect those bad days and see why it's bad, because life was meant to be joyful. And I'm not saying that every single day you're just going to jump out of bed and be bubbly. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you should wake up every single day with a sense of satisfaction about your life. You should wake up every day feeling good to be alive. That's how life should feel all the time. And if it doesn't, then you need to start asking yourself, what is causing the resistance? What is causing this internal conflict inside that is sapping away from my birthright of joy? What is it? And when you start really looking at what it is, that's where you are moving further away from that intuitive knowing of yourself. The self that is the natural you that knows what feels good, what's best for you, the direction of your life, the purpose of your life, the fulfillment, the joy, because it's already there. And the moment that you don't feel good, that means you're moving away from it. So I wanted to do this video because as I was talking to my colleague this morning, we were talking about this, it just brought up so many emotions for me because, ladies, I used to buy into that myth that life is meant to be hard. And if it's good, then just be thankful because that's the exception. I bought into that for so long. And it wasn't until I made the decision to flip that around and say, no. Life is meant to be joyful. Life is meant to have satisfaction. And if I'm not feeling satisfaction, if I'm feeling depressed, anxious, sadness, discontentment, then that is me moving further and further away from my intuitive knowing of what I'm supposed to be living and how I'm supposed to be feeling and what I'm supposed to be doing. So I hope this video helps some of you out there who may be in that situation where you're struggling, and in your mind, that old myth is telling you, well, this is just how life is. If you're in that space, then definitely let me know in the comments, where you got that from, where that myth began for you, because a lot of times it begins at a very young age. Let me know in the comments what age that myth took hold for you. And if you're in a space where you're like, Tiffany, yeah, that's where I am, I'm struggling, I don't know how to get out of this cycle, then definitely send me a private message. We'll talk. We'll see if we can talk about where you are and where you want to be and how to get you back into your natural alignment with that intuitive knowing. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a fabulous day and a great weekend, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.